doing this?
I told you I am not.
That night shifted the trajectory of my life in ways I didn't see coming. Walking out of my own home had never once crossed my mind when the evening began. I was still clinging to the idea of a marriage worth saving, one that might be flawed but was ours. But sometimes, it only takes a careless sentence dropped at the wrong moment, in the presence of the wrong audience, to unravel years of patience and endurance. It was supposed to be nothing more than a simple gathering. A few of her colleagues from the design firm, a casual Friday night get-together in our apartment. Nothing grand. Honestly, I wasn't looking forward to it. Work had already drained me dry that week, my boss had been relentless, and all I wanted was a quiet evening to myself. But I knew it mattered to her. So, I put in the effort, cleaned the place, set the table, and even rushed out last minute to grab the expensive white wine she loved. At first, it felt fine. Laughter, clinking glasses, light chatter. She thrived in that setting, glowing as the charming host. And for a while, I found some joy in just watching her shine. But as the night wore on and the alcohol kept flowing, something in her shifted. Her sharpness found its way to me. Not in explosive arguments, but through subtle, cutting jabs. She interrupted me mid-sentence, rolled her eyes at my words, laughed a little too eagerly when someone tossed out a joke at my expense. I brushed it off at first, maybe nerves, maybe her trying too hard to impress her coworkers. I gave her the benefit of the doubt, as I always had. But then it escalated. When the topic of vacations came up, her coworker Mark, the smug one in the too-tight shirt, joked about weekend getaways. Someone asked if we traveled much. I answered casually, we used to, before life got busier. Without skipping a beat, she cut in, yeah, before he turned into a boring homebody with no sense of adventure. The table erupted in laughter. I forced out a chuckle too, but her tone wasn't playful, it was sharp, meant to wound. My stomach sank. Later, when someone asked who usually did the cooking, I said lightly, we split it. She rolled her eyes again and shot back, please. Last time he tried, the smoke alarm went off. That one got an even bigger laugh. I didn't laugh. I sat frozen in place, feeling the pity in the room circle around me. Then Mark, emboldened, chimed in with a smug smirk about how patient she must be to live with someone like me. And she didn't shut it down. She smiled, raised her glass, and said, patience is everything, or you just learn to tune them out. That was it. I didn't argue. I didn't even speak. I stood, quietly, and left the room. She called after me, mocking, oh, come on. Don't be so sensitive. If you don't like it, the door's right there. The silence that followed was heavy, suffocating. Every eye in the room was on me. I looked at her one last time, and realized I didn't recognize the woman standing there. Whatever version of her I had loved, she wasn't the same person anymore. I went to the bedroom, pulled the suitcase from under the bed, and began packing with calm precision. Shirt after shirt, jeans, toiletries, my running shoes, my laptop. Each item folded into place steadied me. From the hallway, I could hear the whispers, is he really serious? I was. 10 minutes later, I emerged with the suitcase in hand. The room was still full of people, all frozen in disbelief. She looked pale, her smile gone. You're actually leaving? She asked, voice trembling. I met her eyes. You told me to, in front of everyone. So yeah, I am. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. For the first time that night, she had no words. I walked out. I drove aimlessly for hours, ending up at a cheap hotel off the highway. I lay awake most of the night staring at the ceiling, replaying it all, the slow drip of sarcasm, the constant belittling, how I had let myself fade into the background of my own marriage. And in the silence of that hotel room, I realized just how long I'd been enduring humiliation disguised as humor. By morning, I shut off my phone. Days passed. Then a week. She texted, called, emailed. I didn't respond, not as punishment, but because I needed distance. And in that silence, I discovered something unexpected: peace. Real peace. I stayed with my brother for a while. He didn't ask questions. He just gave me space, a key, and a couch. Slowly, I started rebuilding. I ran again. I reconnected with old friends. I sat in therapy, not because I was broken, but because I wanted to understand why I'd allowed myself to shrink under someone else's sharp tongue. 2 months later, she sent me a long, desperate message, apologies, explanations, claiming she was just joking, that she didn't mean it. She said she missed me, begged me to come back. But by then, it was too late. The night she mocked me, humiliated me, and told me the door was right there, she never imagined I'd walk through it. And she certainly never imagined I'd never walk back. Word count, 1,640.